Hello, everyone. We are going to do a romance angel oracle reading. This is one of my favorite decks. I love to use this, especially around Valentine's Day to do readings. This is a 44 card deck. It is by Doreen Virtue. This is a great deck to use for um, adding on to other readings. If you are doing like a daily guidance reading or a life purpose reading and you want to add a little bit of romance in there, this is a great book to use, a great deck to use. It's pretty easy to use. It's pretty self-explanatory, but the book is really nice. There's a picture and a short uh, message for each card. I don't use the guidebook. I've had this deck for many, many years, so I don't use the guidebook, but it is great to use if you're just learning to do cards and you don't really have a lot of cards. I'm just going to show the cards real quick because some people might be looking for a romance deck, and it's very important whenever you're picking cards that you resonate with the cards. You don't want to grab a deck that uh, just doesn't resonate with you, because that's important, because the more comfortable you are with the deck, the more clairvoyant you're going to be with the readings, the more you're going to be able to understand what's coming in for you. So that's really important. All right, so this is what the card deck looks like. I've had this deck for probably 7 years, and it's a little beat up. You can see like there's some little marks that are taken off, but I use this deck quite a bit, and so it's really good card stock. It's from Hay House, so it has that Hay House symbol on it, and I usually click my decks 3 times. Ooh, and honestly, this deck is pretty active too. Like, I've never had issues with not getting clear readings, and it's very um, the cards have a tendency to want to fly out whenever I use it. So maybe that's my strong point. Maybe I should do more romance readings, and I just don't. But um, it seems like this deck loves to be used, so the cards have a tendency of just flopping out. But so we're going to do a collective reading. What do we need to know? What do we need to know? What do we need to know? So when I am pulling my cards, I pull them a couple different ways. I let them fall out on their own. Sometimes they fly out, but sometimes I can just feel what wants to come out, like this one, and that one, and this one, and this one. Right, and I feel like this one here, because it's sticking out, wants to come out. Um, and this one, oh, that's why I said, like, this deck just loves to talk. It's a talker. All right, and one more. Okay. So let's take a look at what we got. We're going to take the honeymoon. So this energy is like a rebirth energy. It can also be a fresh, new energy. It can be an escape energy. When you think of a honeymoon, you're thinking of like breaking away from the world, from everybody, solitude, but not necessarily solitude just like the two of you, because if you're going on a honeymoon, you might be around lots of people, but they're not your people. Like, usually a honeymoon is like, it has to do with the soul, with the two souls coming together to um to honor the marriage that they had just united in. So this one here is saying that you are protected. There is spiritual protection around both of you, and you are going into this honeymoon stage where you are allowed to enjoy the bliss of peace and happiness together without the chaos energy around you. So we're going to put that one right there because that tells the overall theme. So we have attraction. You attract romantic love by enjoying this moment fully. So, as you love yourself and as you step in this energy of love and embrace it into your heart, you then attract what is meant for you and you attract love. And love can be attracting love is not just attracting your husband or wife or a spouse or your significant other. Attracting love is like the love for coffee and the love for the sunrise and the love for the sunset and the love for your friend and the love for your dog, and like it's just it's the attraction of love frequency in general. So it's not just like attracting a person into your life. You're attracting multiple things into your life, which in return raises your frequency, which in return allows your heart to heal, allows your heart to open, and allows you to attract that frequency, that person that resonates with you. Okay. And your next one is love yourself first. Yes, that's what we were just talking about. Like the if you want to attract what is the best and highest for you, you have to love yourself first. Or you're just going to keep attracting that lower energy. You're just going to keep attracting things that are not for your highest good. When people say, "Whoa, why do I keep getting into these relationships?" Well, we need to look at ourselves. What kind of love are we giving ourselves? Are we pouring from an empty cup? Are we trying to put ourselves in people's lives in ways that don't resonate with us? Or are we wearing a mask? Are we unhealed from things that are still causing us emotional trauma? Like those are all very important things to look at. And love yourself first is saying that when you love yourself first, the universe steps in, and then the universe starts to interact in this situation, and the universe starts to align you. So things happen. People fall away from your relationship. Your life might fall apart because trying to the universe is trying to shift it over here so it can fall back together even better, right? So when you love yourself first, you're doing the healing, you're doing the centering, you're doing the self-awareness, and that brings your frequency to where it needs to be so that you can open the door to who you truly are on the inside. Okay. Religious factors. Your love life is influenced by your religious upbringing and spiritual path. Okay, so there could be a lot of issues here. It looks like she's being crowned with this, like, I love this crown because this crown has so many different religions on it. So, okay, so here's how I see this card looking at this meaning. You are stepping out of your box that you were raised in. You are healing parts of you that never resonated correctly. And your love life is influenced by how you are allowing yourself to perceive the world in front of you. Maybe you had these beliefs and that kept you limited, and maybe the person that's meant to come into your life couldn't come into your life because of those beliefs. So just as an example, so as you are studying, learning, releasing religious like dogma and things like that, you are allowing yourself to open up to truths, which in return set your heart free, and in return brings the fluency of balance back in. So that way you're not judging the person based off of this belief or judging the person based off of that belief or trying to make excuses for certain behaviors because that might be what their religion tells them to do. Like you're seeing the picture for the truth of what it is, and that's allowing you to release certain things and to welcome in certain things. I feel like this one wants to come first. Okay, heart to heart conversations. Yes. Your religious factors, your new way of seeing things, is opening up your mind to deeper conversations. However, honestly discuss your feelings with each other. Maybe, you don't want to be too pushy, but you also want to make sure you get the person's attention. So, this in this situation, this person's kind of looking away from you. He's not giving any attention to he's not paying any attention. And actually, I see this. There's a message coming in here too. Oh, I can see the message. Okay, so it looks, she has her eyes closed and she's not speaking. It's almost like she wants a kiss, like she's leaning in for a kiss, and he's just like not paying any attention, distracted. Okay, so it's like emotional needs are not being met in this situation. She is trying to offer love, but he's not reciprocating it back. And this doesn't necessarily mean it's a male. It could be, you know, any any. This is just a symbol. He's just a symbol for like the masculine energy. Okay, so maybe the masculine energy isn't quite in tune with the feminine energy. She wants to offer him love, but he's not able to meet her where she's at, kind of thing. So there's an imbalance in here. This is just showing an imbalance. Maybe he's not paying attention, maybe he's preoccupied, maybe he's busy, maybe he's working, maybe she's working, maybe she's traveling, whatever the situation is. But the funny thing is like the cupids, the spiritual realm, the higher, the higher uh, the higher ones, they see this. They see the connection. They see the situation. They know that there is a love pull here, a desire here, but they can see that 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 something has to work itself out in this situation. Okay, so conversation. Don't be afraid to speak up, because if you don't speak up, it can turn into an argument. And maybe if you speak up, you can prevent the argument. Try to ask your heart, how how should I speak upon this message? How should I let my feelings be known without making it feel like I'm pointing fingers? How can I lovingly express what I need without sounding like I don't care about them? How can I express the feelings that I feel about the imbalance without making them think that I don't love them anymore? Like, like things like that, that you can ask the universe or ask your heart or ask your guides, and they can help you with this energy. So the relationship, your love life is ascending in a higher level of commitment. Okay, so here you are, they're both focused on this one. They're both focused, and there's a ring going on the finger. So this is basically saying that it's very important that you have conversations that are fluent. Okay, when one party is talking but the other party isn't, or when, like, if you're not talking because you're trying to keep the peace, they're not talking because they think everything's okay, or they're not talking because they're trying to keep the peace. Eventually that peace is not going to be peace, you know what I mean? So like that's what this card is saying. Like you got to have heart to heart conversations. It might not be easy, but it would be productive afterwards, right? So maybe the person, maybe you both have a hard time with somebody pointing out your flaws that they have with you. But at the same time, it's a good way to get everything out on the table so that you can address the issue and see if it can be cleared up and corrected. Right? It seems like this is just an like there's a like if you can't conversate it, then maybe write it down. If you can't speak, if you're afraid to speak it in words and say the wrong words, then maybe try to write it down. It looks like maybe he was reading this and then he put the ring on her finger and made the relationship even more spiritually connected. Right? So like, so if you can't speak it, then you can always try to write it and see how that works out. Because sometimes we just don't have a good way of speaking when it comes to saying things. So, unrequited love, there's not enough attraction or chemistry to keep this relationship going. Okay, so this one is saying that um, for some people, not everyone, but for some people, this relationship has really played its course. And like it looks like he's leaving here and she's trying to hold on to him. It looks like he's disconnecting here and she's trying to hold on to him. It looks like he is coming in and this and there's strength here. So this could be like a wishy-washy in and out, highs, lows kind of relationship. But this card here doesn't necessarily mean that the relationship is over. Like in this one here, he's kind of leaving again. Like he's giving her a kiss and it looks like he's like a soldier or something and he's going off to do something. He's going off to complete a task or something. So it doesn't necessarily mean that the relationship is over. Unrequited love means that there's an imbalance. There's somebody not being honest with somebody else, or there's somebody not being truthful about their true feelings, or there's something here that is just not vibing right. There's just an off feeling. So maybe this person's frequency isn't matching this person's frequency, or this person's frequency, or this person's expectations might be different, or maybe this person's having a change of heart. So communication, 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 very important here. And deception, yes, someone is wearing a false self mask in this relationship. This could be you. If you're not being honest and you're not telling the person how you truly feel, what's bothering you, what's causing you to pull back, then it could be you wearing the mask. It could be both of you in this picture. Like there's both of you wearing a mask here. It could be both of you. There are children involved in this situation. So maybe you're trying to mask the situation because you are trying to protect the younger people involved. Um, but I mean, there's this like, it's like you're not being truthful to yourself either. Like um, you're not coming forward with your who you who you feel you are too. So deception could be many things. So I'm not going to get into this card too deep because I don't want to implant fears. But like deception for some people can be really bad and maybe this relationship really does have unacquitted love because it's definitely not where it should be and it needs to end. But for other people, the deception card could just simply mean that you're not communicating. You're making each other think that everything's okay when actually there's some tension there. There's some unshared unshared words there, or there's one person thinks everything's okay and they're wearing a mask because they're not talking about what's bothering them, and the other person can feel that there's something not right, but they're wearing a mask because they don't want to argue and fight with you, so they just go over here and do their thing and hope that maybe it's just a mood swing or work or something, or maybe you're just, going through a midlife crisis kind of thing or whatever. And so, like, you could be making excuses for the situation, but not addressing the elephant in the room kind of energy. So that's going to be on that one. Okay. So for some people, this is going to be a confirmation that this relationship needs to end. You're just going to feel it. You're just going to know, you're going to be, aha, this is what I was waiting for. For other people, this is not an ending. It's just an there's communication problems. Okay. The honeymoon is saying that, there is a newness to this energy. There's a need to come inward. Regardless, there's a need to come together and block out the world and talk about the situation that's going on, because talking about it is the only way that you're going to be able to resolve it. Okay. So let's take a look. We're going to pull some charms, see what our message is, what we get from our charms. Um, oh, that was quite a few. Okay. And then we're going to add some dice to this one. Let's see. Ooh. Okay. So let's take a look. So looking at our charms, we have best friend. Okay, first thing I thought of that was best friend. Key to my heart. Um, a harvest, right? A harvest time. There's another key. So there's a key. You each hold a key to each other's heart, right? Uh, there's luck on your side. There's protection. The feather represents protection. The sun represents light, rebirth, a new beginning. The the bicycle represents um, a constant moving in motion. The relationship isn't stale. It's not, it's not dead. And then the tree of life is as below, so above, as above, so below, and you just keep recreating and recreating and recreating. So in this, with the charms, for some of you, this is going to be the relationship is going to move into a situation where it is going to end, and you're going to have a new best friend to come in. You're going to have someone come in that is holding the key to your heart as you are going to be holding the key to theirs. There's going to be a new harvest, a new beginning. Things are going to move very slowly because bicycles, 'cause they can go fast, but in all reality, bicycles are usually a slower form of transportation. So it might not be a real quick transformation, but there is luck on on your side. You are being guided. If this relationship is meant to end, you are being guided to lovingly allow this relationship to fall apart. The tree of life is telling you that, it's not over. Things will continue. There's no This kind of looks like the winter part, like where like the leaves are coming, like the leaves are off, like the winter kind of tree. So like there will be a spring where the tree comes back to form. So if this the cat is kind of like mysterious, like there's unknown there, okay? So if this is for someone who the reading is meant to end and it is not meant to stay, then this is all going to play out harmoniously. Just keep the communication door open as much as you can and just allow things to work out and trust that there is something better that's meant to come. All right, a dice is all about, it's all about like the unknown, like the cat, the mystic cat, the cat with nine lives that keeps going out trying to, you know, try its luck again. It's kind of the same thing with this. You never know what you're going to get until you roll it, kind of thing. Okay. So you got 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, the nine, maybe the ninth month. Um, maybe this is the number nine might come in significantly for you. But there's a happy ending in this. This dice has a smiley face, so there's a happy ending. So for some of you, this is just one of those seasons where your relationship is just kind of going through the you know tug of war kind of situation, and everything's working out for you. This person's your best friend. They are holding the key to your heart. There's a lot of spiritualness involved. Things are going to work out. It's just, keep that line of communication going. And then again, like I said, for others, this might be a confirmation for you that the relationship is has reached its time and it is ready to expire. For some people, that could be a soul contract. Maybe you both were able to get each other to where you needed to be. For some of you, um, this person just might be determined not to grow, and maybe you are determined to grow. So, that could be another factor. Maybe you're both meant to go, maybe you both have reached a point where you're meant to go on separate paths because you're not able to find common ground anymore. Or maybe the purpose for coming together in the first place has served, and now you both feel like you're meant to do something separate. But but either way, it is pointing towards a happy ending. And and for the majority of you, this is not an ending at all. This is just a reading telling you to be honest with your emotions. Work on that communication station, right? You got to have communication because that's what is the glue that keeps things together, okay? All right, thank you so much for tuning in, and I hope this resonates, and have a great day. Bye.